The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Ford Brothers Auction, Kentucky Orthodontics and Invisalign, La Rosa's Pizza, Mingy Beef Jerky, PANNELL Swim Shop, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Raising Cane's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Welcome to the Scholastic Ball Report. I'm Bridget DeVries. I used to be a host on this show, and I'm sitting in this week for Gary Ball. We have a great show lined up for you this week. First, WKYT staff will put together a great feature from things that go on this week. Our scholar athlete this week is Blake Busen. He is a 3.75 scholar athlete from Lexington Catholic. He does double duty on the football field as a wide receiver and defensive back. We also will have the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. They're down in Nicholasville, and they will take us down the road with a one outstanding play of the week. This week, also, we have a special legend, Mr. Philip Haywood, who is the legendary football coach from Belfry High School. We'll continue that interview from last week. From UK Sports Medicine Healthcare, we have Riley Cunningham that's going to talk to us a little bit about negative stress factors due to the COVID pandemic. It'll be very interesting. But we know what you want. You want the best highlights in the state of Kentucky, and that will be brought to you in Game Time from Lee K. Howard and Brian Milam.
No player from Bryan Station was alive the last time the Defenders won the region crown, and the seniors for Dunbar, well, they were just being born when the Dogs did it back in 2003. The first time they played this year, Station won 35-28, down
7-0. Here comes PLD. Jake Smith, Howard Jackson, you got mossed.
Oh my.
54-yard house call, 7-7 after the first quarter. 10 seconds to go before the half. This may have been the game changer. Dunbar scores on that.
Oh my.
Oh no. Smith to Jackson, 71 yards, a massive momentum swing. Dogs up 14-7 at the break. Station losing quarterback McCaleb Coffey in the first half. Here comes Tariq Mulder. The strike to a Travion Jenkins. 27 yards. We're tied at 14. We go to the fourth. First play of the final 12 minutes. Smith to guess who? Mr. Jackson. Part three. All three Dunbar scores between those two. 21-14. Under 2 minutes ago. Station at the doorstep. Mulder is picked off at the goal line or inside the end zone. And the Dogs win it 21-16. First title since '03.
It's been months since Jordan Lindsay has directed students in seats. Lately, he's had the entire practice room to himself. Before, music bounced off the walls.
In our choir room, it kind of vibrates when we hear it, so we're just it just feels really nice. It's kind of like an outer body experience.
So Mr. Lindsay gave students like senior Jamon Ross an out-of-classroom assignment, a virtual concert of sorts.
I created some practice tracks with real singers, friends of mine, that sang the part, so they had something to listen along and sing to.
Ross and his peers recorded themselves on their webcams.
I had to learn it on my own. I had to record the song. I did it maybe 6 or 7 times.
It's more intimidating than it sounds, but it developed into a group project.
You could even see the kids convincing their peers to come on guys, you can do this.
And you're urging each other to just put yourself out there, get out of your comfort zone, and create this beautiful thing together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge part of what we do, is just getting everybody to trust one another, to love one another, to believe in one another.
Students belted out their part of a song simply entitled Sing, for a final performance that deserves an encore.
I really love Mr. Lindsay.
In Lexington, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
And welcome into the Scholastic Ball Report. Our Scholar Athlete of the Week this week is Blake Busen. He's out of Lexington Catholic. He has you might as well say a 4.0, 397, 398, right, Blake? So close enough.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. Close
What
enough. 1B.
Yeah. What type of classes does one take out there at Lexington Catholic, that great blue ribbon school, to be almost a 4.0 student?
Well, I'm in the Exemplar Scholar program at Lexington Catholic, which is like pretty much you take the most rigorous classes there. A lot of APs. Taking 4 AP classes this year and 3 sciences altogether.
Yeah. Well, Blake, we really enjoyed your football career there at Lexington Catholic. It started last year when you were a sophomore. You were out there running down those touchdown passes from Bo Allen, this year from Jack Goman. But tell us about your football career last year and this year, and how you think you've improved.
Well, last year I had pretty much my breakout season as a sophomore. Had an unbelievable quarterback, Bo Allen. It's the best player in Catholic history, so it was a really honor to catch passes from him. And this year I've pretty much improved my game more, and I know the stats don't really show it as much, but I think I've gotten much better this year. But yeah.
Well, you've only played the 6 games. You're 4-2,
Right.
and speaking of that, man, you just got a big win over Covenant Catholic. That was a huge win for Blake Busen, for the Catholic Knights, for Nigel Smith, for everybody associated with that program, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. It was a big win to gain a lot of confidence to go into the playoffs. We had them last year, and just the fourth quarter we let it slip between our fingers. But this year we made it. We got it. We got the win.
And I remember last year, you said that was a breakout year for you, and it certainly was. You had the 2 long touchdown passes right down the middle. You hauled them in and took it all the way. I think you broke a tackle from a Covenant Catholic player at about the 30-yard line, but that was a breakout year for you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. And that was really the breakout game for me. I had about 170 yards, 2 touchdowns that game. So, yeah, it was a good game.
And I know, Blake, you scored a 30 on the ACT. You can take that again, of course. I don't think I took the ACT until my senior year in high school. ACT was a little different back then. But anyway, so you can take, if you're not happy with a 30, you can take that again. But a 30 is really good. So tell us about your academics before you get away, what you hope to major in college and do for a business or a career.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I haven't really figured out what I'm interested in. I'm interested in a lot of science stuff, and hopefully probably something medical field maybe. Not too sure yet though.
Well, you'll figure it out, and I tell you, you've been figuring it out well in the classroom there with almost a 4.0 there at Lexington Catholic, that great institution. Blake Busen, congratulations for being our Scholar Athlete of the Week and joining us on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
That's Blake Busen. He's an outstanding Scholar Athlete at Lexington Catholic. And now we're going to the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week as we head down to Nicholasville.
Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week, Class 6A Region Finals, Dunbar Bryan Station. Last play of the first half, the Bulldogs get a prayer answered. Jake Smith to Howard Jackson. The pass is tipped and goes 71 yards for the touchdown. And for the first time since 2003, the Dunbar Bulldogs are region champions thanks to this Howard Jackson Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
And welcome back into our UK Sports Medicine segment here on the Scholastic Ball Report. Riley Cunningham joins us. Thanks for joining us, Riley. Always great to have you on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
What are the negative effects of having too much stress for these young athletes?
Well, normally when you think of stress, you think of the middle side of it, your anxiety and depression. And then, but people don't really think a whole lot about like the physical stress, the physical side of stress. You'll get like your stomach issues, you'll get headaches, you'll get sleep issues. and it can eventually lead on to other issues that are related to stress, like anxiety attacks, panic attacks, stuff like that. So it can really have a negative effect on your health overall.
Yeah. What are some common techniques that student athletes can do in their free time, maybe?
Personally, I like breathing techniques. It helps me relax. Tensing your body and then relaxing it, it really helps out a lot. But you have to find something that kind of fits you. I mean, normally for athletes, it's working out, getting that energy out. Other times it's reading a book, it's keeping a diary or a journal of your thoughts, or just getting out and enjoying sunshine when you can. I know we're in the winter, it's going to get dark and gloomy and all that, but just find what you can do that helps suit you to deal with your stress.
What advice would you give your student athletes that are feeling the stress of today's climate with the election, with COVID and virtual learning? They're having to deal with a lot right now. Seriously.
Exactly. What my advice is, remember you're a kid first. It may sound a little weird, but let the adults do that, and you worry about, let me go out and play ball, let me get this schoolwork in, let me just be a kid and hang out. With following COVID guidelines, enjoy time with your friends, whether that be FaceTime, whether it be, you're on Fortnite or whatever with your friends. Just be a kid. And then if you want to, get involved with some of the social issues that suit you. But if it gets too stressful, just need to know that you need to back out. Okay. You have just a short amount of time in your life to be a kid. And then after that, it's bills, all sorts of other stress that comes along with it. That hopefully you learn these stress relieving techniques as a child, as a kid, and you use those in your adult life. That way that you can help deal with your stress later on in life.
I know it's a small thing, but I always say take a couple of deep breaths and relax.
Exactly.
And that helps me personally de-stress, but I know everybody's got their own stick,
Yeah, just taking a deep breath, just a couple of deep breaths will help out a lot. It'll help kind of focus your body back into what you need to do, and you're good to go.
Yeah, we appreciate all the good information on stress for the young kids because they need all the help they can get in today's climate,
I remember being a student athlete, and I don't ever remember having this much stress thrown on me as a kid.
Yeah. Played at Arkansas, high school football in Arkansas, ground and pound down there, right? No stress.
All 2A school, Carlisle, Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Riley. We appreciate you having you on the show, and thanks for coming on with us.
I appreciate it, and thank you for allowing me to come on here and instill some knowledge on some people.
Yep. He sure did. That's Riley Cunningham with UK Sports Medicine. Now we're going to the final highlights brought to you by Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Last season, Douglas breezed by Southwestern by 40. Tonight, there would be no breezing.
Only a big mud guy, right?
Only a lot of mud. He's a mudder. Samuel Cornett hooks up with Dakel Crowdis, 21-yard score. Broncos up 7-0. Later in the quarter, though, Southwestern's got Christian Walden, and he's going to find the hole. Oh, he busts through guys, 29 yards. 2-point conversion, no good. 7-6, Douglas at the break. In the third, Cornett over the middle to Isaiah Allen.
Look how clean his jersey is.
Yeah, well, it's because he's running away from everybody. 45 yards, Douglas up 14-6. Let's go to the fourth. Southwestern trails 21-14. Connor Crisp is crisp. He goes right over the middle, 21-20. You're at home. Do you go for the win or do you go for the tie?
You go for the win.
Here comes your game. Final chance. Does he get in? No. Stopped at the muddy goal line, and Douglas escapes 21-20.
I mean, obviously it's bad field conditions. Our offense isn't as good in this stuff, but the kids made a few plays at the end of the game. Obviously it wasn't perfect. Give Southwestern credit; their kids played their hearts out. Obviously, these conditions are conducive to what they do, so that helped them as far as that goes. But survive and advance, and we'll move on.
Welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report. I want to thank Roberts Insurance. They're out in Richmond, Kentucky. Roberts Insurance are on Main Street. They've been insurance folks for 40 years now in this great state of Kentucky. Speaking of this great state of Kentucky, This coach needs no introduction. He is outstanding coach, one of the best coaches in the state of Kentucky at Belfry High School, Philip Haywood. Philip, welcome to the Scholastic Ball Report.
Thank you. I'm very excited about being with you today.
We're excited to have you on, Coach. You know, it all started for you. Tell us about where your career started. I think Coach DeVries and maybe even Coach Walton had a little bit of something to do with it, didn't they?
Absolutely. Two great influencers in my life. And I started off at Tates Creek High School in Lexington with Coach Walton and was there a year during my student teaching, but it was a great year of influence. And Coach Walton and I developed a relationship that lasted for 38 years until he passed away a few years ago, and remained very close. And then I moved to Meade County High School in Brandenburg with Coach DeVries, and I was there a couple of years, and we still talk frequently. And was able to get up there actually last January. They had a Hall of Fame induction, one of our former players. And so that was really nice to get to see everybody because it had been a few years to visit there. Then I was at Prestonsburg 9 years before moving to Belfry.
Coach, no high school sort of mirrors ground and pound like Belfry High School. That's your bread and butter, and you live by it, you stick by it, and you love to just run that football, don't you?
We do. We kind of do something that fits our kids well, and usually we have a pretty good stock of offensive linemen and have some backs to go along with it. We don't always have these 4-4 sprinters, but we'll have a couple of quick backs. But we have some tough kids, and it kind of suits what they do. And it's just something that we kept doing over the years. And there's some other schools that do something similar to us, maybe not exactly the same style, but we've had a lot of success doing this. And so when you're having success, you might say, why knock it? You know, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it well.
Yeah. Coach, do you remember years ago you came up to Highlands and played a playoff game, and you put the fear of God in Fort Thomas Highlands? You almost upset them that night. And ever since that game, your program has been really a big team on the rise.
Well, that's true. That was one of the toughest losses that our kids and me personally, I guess, that we've ever experienced, because we probably outplayed them every way but the scoreboard. You know, they ran a punt back for a touchdown, and we punted, or I think they punted once, and the ball was dribbling down the field and hit one of our guys in the back, and they got it on the 30-yard line and got a score, and we ended up in overtime. And you know, the interesting thing in overtime is that their quarterback threw a pass, and we go up and block the pass, and unfortunately it came right back to him, and he caught it and ran to the other side and threw for a touchdown in the end zone. So it was one of those nights that they made the plays and we didn't, but we really played well. And it was unfortunate for us in the sense that they won by about 30 points in the state championship the next week, and it put it off a few years before we won one. But that was a great game. And you mentioned that, of course, everyone that's knows football around Kentucky knew the passing of Coach John Schlarman. And he and I have talked about that game many times because he was a freshman on that team. And then the next year, he was a sophomore, and Highlands came up to play us in the Pike County Bowl. And we were able to win that one, but I'd much rather have won the semifinal game that year. But that brought back some really good memories of him and some of the things that we talked about when he was on his recruiting visits. He was a great man and a great guy.
That's it for the Scholastic Ball Report for this week. I want to thank William Moorfield for his video excellence. And just remember, for those you see and those you don't see, you keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Ford Brothers Auction, Kentucky Orthodontics and Invisalign, LaRosa's Pizza, Mingy Beef Jerky, PANNELL Swim Shop, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Raising Cane's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.